Hello, in this video we are going to introduce citations. What are citations? Why do we cite? What do we cite? And how citations work. So first off, what are citations? A citation is the way you tell your readers that certain material in your work came from another source. It also gives your readers the information necessary to find that source again. Why do we cite? Research is a conversation. When you're in a live conversation, you say things like, "I totally agree with you, Marie, and also," or "I disagree with Alec about," or "Milo and Valerie agree with me that." Research papers are how scholars have a conversation about what they have learned on their topic. One person publishes a research study and finds out something. The next person builds on that or disagrees with it, and that's how human knowledge moves forward. Since you're in college now, increasingly as you go forward, your research writing is contributing to that scholarly conversation. Therefore, you want to cite your sources in order to show whose work you're building from, and make it easier for the next person to build from your work. Essentially then, you cite your sources to help your reader. If they are interested in a fact or idea you use, they can easily go find that source and learn more. They don't have to redo all of your research because you have given them all the information they need to easily find that source. Additionally, failing to cite your sources means that your reader will assume the information you used from your sources instead comes from you. You are saying that the work other people did is yours. This is called plagiarism and is considered a form of theft. By failing to cite your source, you have stolen someone else's words or ideas and claimed they were yours. Plagiarism can have harsh penalties, so it's good that you are learning about citations now. A lot of plagiarism is accidental, because students do not realize that they are supposed to cite something. So let's talk about what gets cited and what doesn't. By default, your reader assumes that the words and ideas presented in your paper come from you and your own head, unless you tell them otherwise. So everything that you get from outside your own brain needs to be cited so your reader has an accurate idea of where everything is coming from. If you copy and paste something from another source, that's a quotation. You need to put quotation marks around that and cite it. Also, if you take an idea from a source and put it into your own words by summarizing or paraphrasing, you need to cite that as well. There are things that you do not need to cite, like your own ideas or analysis of sources, because your reader has that default assumption that uncited material comes from you. You also do not need to cite something that's common knowledge, something that you can assume everyone in your audience already knows. An example of common knowledge here at MVCC would be that our school colors are green and black. Common knowledge varies based on your audience. You can assume that everyone at MVCC knows the school colors, but you might not assume that your friend who goes to Binghamton knows them. If you have questions about whether something is common knowledge, you can always ask a librarian. So how does citation work? As we've talked about, the goal of citation is to leave the reader in no doubt of who is responsible for what words and ideas in your paper, while also not making a mess of your paper by putting all the information about a source right in the body of your paper. Every citation style does this a little differently. In general, you include a small amount of identifying information about a source in the text of your paper each time you use information from that source. This is called an in-text citation, and it tells your readers which information came from each source. That in-text citation directs the reader to the correct full citation at the end of the paper, where they can find all the information they need to locate your source for themselves. You need to have both those in-text citations and the full citation in order to fully cite your paper. Otherwise, you are leaving your reader with incomplete information. And as we've already said, your main goal is to help your reader know exactly where all of your information came from and be able to easily find that information for themselves. Hopefully this video has given you a good overview of what citation is, why we do it, what information needs to be cited, and how citation works. For more details on how to cite in a particular citation style, check out the library's other citation videos. And always, if you have questions about citations, contact a librarian. We're here to help. Happy researching!